Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Ted. Today we've got episode 3 of Reviving Ravel. On paper, not a corker, but I'm confident we're at least going to see some Ravel action on the pitch today, just like we didn't against Juventus. Today's episode is not sponsored by Aldi's own Amaretto circa 2017. Just, I really fancy a drink and we don't have any rum in the house, so this will have to do, and it's going in a nice little can of Pepsi Max. Where's the logo? If you're new around here, please do remember to subscribe. If you want to see some more, drop the video a like because it really helps the channel out, helps me out. And anyone who does like and subscribe gets exclusive access to my Discord account. But now we're going to run through what Ravel has done since I last met you for the Juventus game, and I've not planned this in advance. I've not done any pre-recorded stuff, so I'm going to be clicking through the highlights now, so it's probably going to take me about half an hour, but for you, hopefully about 30 seconds. First action for Ravel is in a 3-0 win over Ternava, where he whips in a corner for a Serbi to head home. Next up is a goal for Ravel where he actually heads home in a 2-0 win over Empoli. First of two highlights in a 6-2 drubbing of Fiorentina. Ravel Morrison from the penalty spot misses, but he puts away the rebound, get in. And the second highlight is an assist for Ciro Immobile, put straight through the middle, slotted past the keeper, banging stuff. And then in a 7-0 drubbing of Sheriff in the Europa League, we have, not sure that actually counts as an assist. Here's his goal. Keeper could have done better, but scoring from a free kick always looks pretty good. And here's the actual assist, Ravel Morrison to Ravel Berisha, back in the net. So yes, we've actually been in extremely good form. So obviously I met you for this 2-0 defeat against Juventus, where we could have got something from the second half. We're a little bit unfortunate, but that's life. We've since played 8 games and won 7 of them, 3 of them in the Europa League, unfortunately. But in Serie A, we beat Atalanta 2-1. Ravel Morrison didn't do anything there, I don't believe, from memory. Smashed Ternava 3-0 in the Europa League. Beat Empoli 2-0. in the league, where Ravel Morrison scored. Beat Chievo 3-0, beat Ternava 2-1, so yeah, just constant wins. Keeping clean sheets in these 2 games was a bit of a nightmare, but smashing Fiorentina 6-2 was completely unexpected. We should have won by more, to be completely honest. Ciro Immobile is just an absolute beast on this game. Lost to Udinese, or Udine, I think they're sometimes called. 3-1, Kevin Lasagna getting on the scoreline. Don't know if it's actually any good on this game. Yeah, it looks pretty tidy, but yeah, that was a terrible result. And then smashing Sheriff 7-0 with one of my long-time favourite players getting on score sheet 3 times, Ravel Berisha. It's just a shame I'm focusing on Ravel and not him. So in the league, we are currently in 5th place. We are 2 points behind Torino, who are 7 points behind 3rd place, who are Inter, and they've got the same amount of games. We've got a game in hand over Torino. So win today will put us back into the Champions League places, but it's looking increasingly unlikely we're even going to get to the end of the season at this rate. But before we get into why, quick look at the Europa League group stage. We've smashed everyone in our path, and we're on 15 points in 5 games. Marseille are next up. In terms of Ravel himself, we move on to him. Firstly, I want to have a quick look at the report, because the star rating has gone down to 2-star current, 2.5-star potential. But previously, he was being shown as a star player for Serie B sides. He's now a decent player for most Serie A sides, so that is good. Potentially be a good Serie A attacking midfielder in the future. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. The reason why I don't think it will actually technically happen is that if I can find the promises somewhere, content with training overall, even though I've moaned at him twice about it. In fact, I don't think the actual issue is showing anymore, which is unfortunate, but he said he is leaving on a free at the end of his contract. We disagreed about training a couple of times, where he pulled 5.5s in successive weeks. I had a go at him. He wants to leave. So all I've done is I've left it to the director of football, but director of football discussed with him, and it turns out that he is transfer listed now. And I said just sell at any price. So we'll see. We might get to the end of the season, we might not. He's performing really well, so it's actually brought some different interest, which wasn't here last time I checked. So current teams interested are Empoli in Italy, obviously, Feyenoord in the Netherlands, the 2 Sheffield clubs, and then some minor interest from Udinese and LOSC, I believe, Lille, is that right? Yeah. So we could be on for a bit of a European tour. As you'll see, some of the recent form has been pretty good. He's not dipped below a 6 point. I mean, dipping to a 6.3 is not good, but moderately inconsistent. But a goal. Okay, I said he did nothing against Empoli. He did a goal against Ternava, assist against Empoli. Went a couple of games doing nothing. Then a goal and assist against Fiorentina, nothing against Udinese, and then 2 assists and a goal against share of, I think I said goals and assists the other way around earlier, but that's fine. In the league, he's got 11 appearances, 3 goals, 1 assist, 6.93 average, which is alright, I think. And then Europa League, 5 games, 3 goals, 3 assists, which, considering the quality of the opposition, is good, but it could be better. But 7.42 average is pretty handy. I'll not isolate Serie A for the stats for the most part, because I think it's really hard to garner what you need to from the stats for the Europa League, because we have just been so dominant. But he's had 17 shots, of which 47% on target. How many goals he got in that time? 3. So pretty good accuracy. So 3 and 8 on target have gone in. 82% passing accuracy, 14 key passes in 11 games. I'd like that to increase a little bit, but more than a key pass a game, I suppose, is okay. 8 tackles, 7-1-1 loss. He doesn't tackle often, but when he tackles, it's pretty good. Looking at dribbles made per 90 minutes, I don't think that's fantastic. 0.59 dribbles per 90. I'd like that to be a bit higher, especially as his dribbling is alright, but he's getting some good fouls against. Passes completed seem to be okay. Just need a bit more involved in the game. So that brings us to the tactics, which I discussed towards the end of the last episode. I don't know whether or not to stick him on like a bit of a roaming role or a trequartista or something. I think I will trial that in the first half of this game. So on the trequartista role, they have to ease off tackles, although Ravel Morrison does like to dive into tackles, but hopefully that sort of just meets in the middle. He'll just tackle a little bit. I guess we'll see. With this, we should see the advanced playmaker role, but they should move around a little more. I think the actual definition for trequartista says something along those lines. While similar to the advanced playmaker in that he aims to drop into the holes between the opposition's midfield and defence, the trequartista does far less defensively and simply drifts around looking for space when the team is not in possession. I'm sort of hoping he just gets a bit more involved in the play a bit further up the pitch, so I guess we'll see how it works. In any case, we get into the game. So our lineup is Strakosha in goal, Caceres, Radu, Wallace and Marizic at the back, Leva and SMS in the middle, Correa, Ravel and Luis Alberto in attacking midfield positions, and Immobile up top. In terms of Cagliari's team, Ragnar Klavan is there. Is he on loan or is he's there permanently? So ex-Liverpool defender. Anyone else I recognise? Dario Serna's there. Padawan, or Padawan as I'd say because I'm a Star Wars fan. There's a few names that are vaguely familiar, but yeah, let's get into the game. I'm expecting a win, but no idea at all. Let's just say pick up where you left off, and I'll do the classic passionate I believe in you. No one cared, and Morrison is the only player in the starting 11 who is not in a social group, bless him, but no point now I suppose. Cagliari with a corner, it gets cleared out to Correa. Ravel Morrison seems to be a bit further forward than he normally would be, but Immobile has been sprung, and I thought I'd gone in. Morrison with the corner, 20 minutes gone, swings it to the back stick. Radu is there, heads it back in for Wallace. So Ravel Morrison with what they call it, like the secondary assist or whatever. But we are under cosh a little bit. Wallace does clear it to SMS, who passes out to Luis Alberto, still thriving on the right wing. Definitely a much better playmaker than Morrison, but probably our best right winger in terms of attributes, just he's not used to playing there. But honestly, it does not matter so much as long as they've got the right attributes and player traits. He seems to drift inside and get involved in play, so I'm happy enough with that. But we do pick up the ball. There it is again, long ball to Immobile, hits the back of the defender. Alberto down the right-hand side, skips past one challenge, and it does get to the back stick. I think that was some kind of deflection, but Correa heads in and looking good, 2-0 up. It is really fun. I'm honestly really enjoying Lazio. Part of me wishes I wasn't following Ravel around because the football they're playing at the moment is superb. We seem to be getting a lot of counter goals in the league, and then against weaker opposition in the Europa League, we're just dominating. I think that's the joy of having such like a sort of balanced tactical setup as well, because I don't like to go whole hog. I like to stay on balance as well in terms of the, what do they call it now, match mentality. I quite like to just let the players decide, especially at this level. If they've got decent decisions, they'll know when to go long and when not to go long. As Cagliari come back into it, and I sound a bit like a mug. Man, all the Disaronno's like just gone to the bottom of that. I say Disaronno's, Amaretto. I think Disaronno's a brand, isn't it? Cagliari are coming forward as I don't get my teeth in properly. They smash the post and we do clear it. Might be a chance for a counter, but that's probably the highlight gone. But yeah, living dangerously, and they are throwing men forward as well. Probably something to watch in the second half. The issue we face a little bit is that I don't think we've seen enough of our highlights to see if the trequartista role was really suiting Ravel. As Cagliari get a free kick. Dario Serna, good save from Strakosha. yeah, we haven't seen enough of our highlights, and I don't like to just... I know it's heavily advised, and honestly, if you're quite new to the game, always watch some of your games on like comprehensive or maybe even full match highlights to see the development of your formation. But I don't really have that time in my life anymore, so I don't do that. So I haven't really been keeping a close eye on Ravel, but he is definitely getting forward a lot faster there. And he is moving around a lot more. He'd previously run... I mean, he's gone towards Immobile now. But it looks like he's giving an option more on the inside of the channels as well, which I quite like as a trequartista. We just need to get hold of the ball a bit more. As there's another highlight, I'll babble a bit. I've noticed any team that plays a defensive mid, he just, as expected, he just completely disappears from the game as an advanced playmaker on attack. Very closely marked. He tends to get on the end of knockdowns, or that was a very strange shot, or sort of any tackles that fall out. He seems to get to them first, things like that. But he's never involved in like a quick counter attack. Like, he's never cut back to him or anything. I just need him in a bit more space. Ravel, does he want to defend? Not really. Ball comes in. We've just thrown a demand more shout out to the players. They all seem focused, apart from Immobile, who seems unsure. But they are definitely throwing guys forward. It might be time to go on to a bit more of a cautious approach, although they're apparently playing with more discipline, but they're definitely tearing us apart now. Ball comes into the box, and they should be putting that away. That is a terrible miss. Another highlight incoming. They're thick and fast now. My voice is going. I need to cough. Luis Alberto down the right-hand side. Ravel is heading to the back stick, and that is such a waste. Throw in down the right. Maruzic gives it to Parola. No, he doesn't. Deary me. I'm trying to cough in between highlights. It's just not going well. But we seem to be keeping hold of the ball pretty well now, which is handy. Ravel is moving around a lot more in this position, which is good. Plays it through for Immobile. There's an assist. Good on Ravel. Delighted for him. But yeah, nice little pass through. Easy. Immobile's unmarked. So that's an assist for Ravel against Cagliari. Full-time whistle goes. We win 3-1. They had a few decent chances, but considering we didn't play fantastically, we looked pretty clinical, pretty solid. I'm not going to go into the analysis too much. I was just seeing that Ravel, I think he played a 6.6, which, if true, seems a little unfair. Normally assist will bump you up to around a 7 regardless. Let's have a quick look at the form there, because I clicked through way too quickly. Oh no, you did get a 7.1, I'm just speaking out my... So it'll be interesting in a few games' time if I have some more data for a trequartista role to see how it differs in terms of like dribbles and stuff like that. It's something I'll keep an eye on definitely for his next club or until the end of the season. But Ravel definitely playing his part in our pretty successful campaign so far. 14 games played, 26 points, plus 13 goal difference. I'd say we got a fairly favourable run of fixtures now, ignoring the Inter game. So Inter and or Marseille first up. Then we got Spal, Genoa, Torino and Sassuolo. Then we got the Italian Cup first round, and then we got Roma. So what I might do is I'll probably try and get through to the Roma game, and if anything goes on between them, I'll obviously have to stop and bring it to you. But that is it for episode 3 of Reviving Ravel. So now 12 games in the league, 3 goals, 2 assists. No player of the match, but 6.94 average is not too bad and a pretty successful team. I'd like it to be a bit higher. I guess we'll see. But if you have enjoyed that, please do like and subscribe. And join me again to see what Ravel's getting up to next time. It might be at a new club. We might just be playing Roma in the Derby della Capitale. Who knows? But I'll see you next time. Cheers.